Broadcast live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG. It's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the show. Hey, before we get going, a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Sparkling Creations. Jennifer Lancaster and her great team at Sparkling Creations is your go-to destination for premier party rentals and expert event planning. Whether you're celebrating a wedding, baby shower, graduation, it's that time of the year, or any special occasion. They have an incredible selection of supplies to bring your vision to life. They even have a mechanical bull, which I rode, and if you wait for their commercial, you'll see me riding it. Their team specializes in making your event fun from start to finish. Not only that, did you know that they have a really cool gift shop there too? Don't take my word for it. Stop by their location at 976 North Winstead Avenue and see for yourself. You can't miss it. It is the building that is covered in paint splatter. Always planning for a good time with Sparkling Creations? Check them out at asparklingcreation.com. So our guest tonight is a local physician and a musical mastermind. Dr. Gray Erlacher is here tonight. So maybe you've seen some of his YouTube videos. Phenomenal. And speaking of YouTube videos, we have a special treat for you later tonight. I hope you like cowbells. I know one person that really does. So in honor of our guest tonight, our Up Late staff of hundreds has compiled a special list of top 5 TV doctors. And then they compared them to moi. So let's get to that list stat. Have not seen this already, so we're going to see what they say about me. So this is the top 5 TV doctors and the ways in which I, Sam Bass, am like them. Number 5, Dr. Gregory House. Brilliant but cranky. It's kind of me. Much like Sam, after one too many bourbon refills, House tries to figure out medical mysteries. Sam tries to figure out his jokes keep getting worse. Well, my staff writes them, okay? And don't even get us started on all the pill popping. That's ibuprofen, okay? I have to have my medicine. Number 4, Dr. Fraser Crane, a refined psychiatrist with a taste for fine wine. You know, someone recently told me that I bore a resemblance to him. I'm not going to say who it is, but she's married to Mike Manhauser. Maybe a little bit. What do you think? Anything, one thing's for sure. If Fraser ever discovered bourbon and bad puns, he'd be dangerously close to hosting his own late night show here in Rocky Mount. Number 3, Dr. Hawk. Hang on a minute. I can't talk. Dr. Hawkeye Pierce. That's hard to say. Remember from MASH. This is a guy that loves martinis and whiskey, cracks inappropriate jokes, and plays by his own rules. That pretty much is a description of me, so I can live with that one. Number 2, Dr. Derek Shepard, a.k.a. Dr. McDreamy. Now we're talking Grey's Anatomy. Let's face it, the only thing Sam might have had in common with Dr. McDreamy was his hair. And unlike Grey's Anatomy, which is still on the air after 21 seasons, Sam's hair has been canceled a long time ago. McDreamy? More like in his dreams. Hey, come on. My number 1 TV, this is actually a movie doctor, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. A true connoisseur of fine dining. So if Sam and Hannibal co-hosted a dinner party, Sam would bring the bourbon, and Hannibal, well, let's just say, don't ask what's in the stew. That's it, folks. That's the top 5 doctors that, and compared to me, whatever they came up with, I don't agree with all of it. Some of it's good. So sit tight. We're going to be right back with Dr. Gray Erlacher.
If you're planning a party, wedding, birthday party, baby shower, or corporate event, Sparkling Creations can make it memorable for you. With tents, tables, bouncy houses, and more. We can even provide a fire pit for outdoor events. If you want to be adventurous, we have a mechanical bull. You name the event, and Sparkling Creations has you covered. Located at 976 North Winstead Avenue, Sparkling Creations, where we make every event sparkle.
As promised, we're back with Dr. Gray Erlacher. Now, should I call you Doctor Gray or Mr. Erlacher or Sir?
Gray is fine in this situation.
That's what I normally call you.
I get Doc a lot, but
there you go.
Gray's fine.
I think I've called you Doc a few times. So I want to ask you, with 30 years of experience in medicine, what inspired you to pursue a career in family and holistic medicine?
Boy, okay. Well, that's a good story. Well, I had children early when I was in college. And when I was in medical school, you kind of face this choice of, well, there's a thing called match day, and you choose your specialty. And then on the same day, every medical student in America finds out where they're going to spend the next 3 to 5 years as a resident. And so I was faced with a choice. I was interested in surgery, but I had 2 small children, and I was thinking, you know, if I do this, I'm not going to have as much say as where I can go, and I'll never see them. So family medicine really appealed to me. For one thing, every rotation I did, I was like, oh, I want to do this. Psychiatry, oh, I love this. And then, you know, the next thing would be cardiology. Oh, I love this. So if you like everything and you got ADD, I think family medicine is a good choice. So that's how I ended up picking family medicine.
You kind of worried me when you said psychiatry. You're not going to analyze me or nothing while we're doing this show.
Oh, no. It's, I usually don't take on hopeless cases. So.
True. So this is a rumor I heard that your first choice of majors was music and medicine was your backup. Tell me about that. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true. I went to Western Carolina University, and you know, I hadn't been out of the house much at that point. And so I ended up taking a lot of classes, and I was a music major. I started out as a music major, but I signed up for a lot of classes and ended up playing in a couple of bands and didn't focus on school so much. So I was not a very good music major. I had a lot of absentees, let's say. So they invited me to take a semester off and think about what I had done or not done. And so I came back with renewed determination, and one thing led to another, and I said, well, you know, maybe I should do pre-med. And of course, my advisor said, well, at least you don't want to be a veterinarian because it's so much harder to get into school. So, yeah, a little known fact there.
Well, it turned out okay. I mean, you're Dr. Gray Erlacher.
Yeah.
You're not, well, you're also a musician, Gray Erlacher, so you got kind of best of both worlds.
On that front.
Well, that's true. But you're great, and we'll find out about that in a few minutes. So, any good med school stories? I mean, did y'all ever dump corpses in the pool or anything fun like that?
No corpse dumping going on. There were some students in the year before me that got in pretty big trouble for taking home parts to study. They got caught with, which maybe back then was not quite the scandal it would be today.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they got in a lot of trouble. So that was, that didn't happen in my year, but you know, there are some different. There's a lot of different stories. For example, do you know why you should never? Can we say the word fart on public television?
That's the F word, but it's not the bad
F word. Okay. Yeah. Well, flatus is the medical word.
Okay.
Well, why can you not pass flatus in the operating room?
Why?
Well, because when they're operating on a patient, if you accidentally nick something, like the bowel, it'll release gas. And they smell it. And that's not a good thing. And so if you pass gas in the emergency room, in the operating room, excuse me, you have to confess. You have to claim it. So medical students, you know, they don't eat on a regular schedule. You kind of eat what you can
Right.
when you can, and you tend to have gas. So I did that. And you're all gowned up. You've got your gloves on and the mask and everything, and you think, oh, this is a pretty discreet thing.
Yeah.
Well, suddenly, you know, these top surgeons that I'm supposed to be in awe of and everything are looking around. Okay, did somebody pass gas? And of course, you know, I was naive. I'm just a student, and so I didn't confess. They said, "We need to know, did anybody here pass gas?" And
Well, according to your wife, you don't confess to this day to that. I'm just kidding.
oh, she can take it. She can take it.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So you worked in a lot of diverse settings. Like you worked in Alaska and even in prisons. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I worked with the Indian Health Service. That took me to Alaska. But I worked for the Department of Corrections in North Carolina for a few years. And that's quite an experience. I did, of course, they have a hospital. There's a central prison that has its own hospital and a mental hospital. So not only do you have, inmates get sick, you know, and so a lot of the places I worked were like maximum security. You go through all of these doors. You're searched every day. Very high security. But they have a hospital in there. And actually, I was in a prison. Well, you know, they let me go home at night. But I was in a prison with 1,100 inmates when COVID hit.
Wow. Oh, gosh.
And, you know, we knew it was coming, and it finally hit, and it just went through the place like that because, you know, it's very close quarters.
I can imagine,
cells. Within a few days, just about everybody tested positive. But the interesting thing in that was very few people were sick. So right off the bat, I knew there was something fishy about the whole COVID story. It's like, okay, if everybody here is positive, why are only 3 or 4 of them, you know, sick?
Right.
A lot of them were positive and they didn't even know they had it. So that was kind of instructional. But you know, doing a lot of the maximum security, you see people that you've read about in the paper, or you could go look them up, and it's kind of good we have these prisons.
Yeah.
They
need to be locked up.
Yeah, they need to be locked up. They don't need to be on the streets. That's true.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
So what drew you to Alaska? What was that experience like? Did you ever have any close calls with a moose?
No, not.
I've heard about that happening.
Mooses, I don't know the
Is it
plural
meese?
of moose.
I don't know.
Moose, I think, is the plural.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Moose can be very dangerous, yeah,
Heard.
and they're really fast. But more grizzly bears. There's a lot of grizzly bears. You know, there's a joke. What do you carry, like with polar bears, for example? What kind of weapon do you carry for polar bears? And the answer is a .22. And the answer, and the reason is that when you see a polar bear, you shoot your friend in the knee and you take off.
So you go. But the polar bears are supposedly extremely vicious toward human beings.
Oh yeah, we're in their food chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also in the prison, I want to ask you, what's the craziest memory you have from the prison time? Did you ever have anybody spaz out on you or try to attack you or anything like that?
No, I never got attacked, thank goodness. That does happen, but, well, I think it's kind of, it's a little shocking when you meet somebody that you've seen on the news, and there's this ethical dilemma. It's like, you know, this is a bad person who's, been convicted and has definitely done bad things. But our role is, we're not part of the punitive system there. They're my patient. Just, you know, it's an ethical dilemma, but you take care of them just like they're any other patient. So
What's the
but
oath, the
crazy
hypocritical oath? What is it called? The oath that doctors take to make sure they're all...
Hippocratic oath?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So you got to take care of them regardless of
Yeah.
your personal feelings.
That's true. But you know, people smuggle in things. We would get drug overdoses, and they got things smuggled in, even into maximum security.
Wow.
And we have overdoses and people smoking things and making their own, you know, whatever they call the liquor that you make. And there's a
seen it in
term
prison
for it.
movies,
Yeah, they actually do that. But,
So you also went to China after you graduated from medical school to learn about acupuncture and holistic medicine. Is that true?
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
I did. Well, you know, I was so medical school is 4 years, and then you do your residency, which is another 3 to 5 years. And at the end of that, I felt like I was still missing some things. You know, I wasn't seeing the big picture. And there was an older resident who had been interested in alternative medicine, was what we called it then. And you know, do you remember that TV show Kung Fu? You know, with who were the actors?
David Carradine.
Oh,
Is
good
that
one.
it?
Yeah, David Carradine.
Kill Bill.
Yeah, that's right, David Carradine. And so I was a kid when that was on, and it really got me fascinated by Chinese culture and Chinese, Kung Fu, of course. And that stuck in my head. And so as I was getting to the end of my medical training in, you know, Western medicine, I got interested in alternative and Chinese medicine, and I thought, well, where better to go? So I arranged a trip to Beijing and actually got into a school there and did some training.
Wow. So acupuncture or something, are you doing that now, or is that?
I do a little bit. I do a little bit. You know, you almost have to dedicate yourself to that full time.
Yeah, like one thing.
Yeah, I usually use it for specific kind of things: headaches, sinus problems, smoking addiction, or any kind of addictions. There's some points in the ears that you can use.
Maybe I need to come see you. Anyway, so I got a fun subject we're going to talk about. Hormones. Always a fun subject. So, bioidentical hormones. Explain to us without a medical degree what that is.
Well, the body makes hormones. Hormones are chemicals that are made by glands in the body that influence everything else in the body. So like the thyroid gland, which is in the neck, makes thyroid hormone. The ovaries and the testes make hormones too. And as we get older, those hormone levels tend to drop off. In women, it's a little more clear. You've got menopause, where you get hot flashes and night sweats, and that's really due to declining levels of hormones. But the same thing happens for men too. Testosterone levels tend to drop off, and that happens to accelerate aging a little bit. Not that aging is a disease, but I mean, we want to prolong our youth and health as long as possible.
Of course, I don't need that.
So we do a lot of natural replacement. The thing about natural hormones is that they're chemically the same as what your body has been making, but in this case, we're just able to take them externally.
So it seems like I heard something that you were one of the first to give a Botox injection?
Yeah, I lucked out. I got into that pretty early. My lab partner in medical school was from Los Angeles, and that's like the cosmetic medicine capital of the world, I think. And he was very early into it, so I went out to visit him. This was even before Botox was on the market. And he said, "You got to learn about this." And so he showed me how they did it. He had a practice in West Hollywood, so he has a lot of the, Hollywood types that wanted to stay looking young coming in. And so I was fortunate. Yeah, he taught me some of that. Botox is for wrinkles, and then of course filler is for things like loss of fat in the face as we get older, or to enhance the lips, of course. But
so not that I need it. But if I wanted a Botox injection, could you do that for me?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. We were talking about that you might need a little Botox. Yeah, and I brought some with me if you'd like to give it a shot.
Live on the air, folks. Almost live, I should say.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't really like big needles. It's not a big one, is it?
No, not at all. This is just a standard Botox needle.
Let's just move on.
Well,
I don't mind a shot of bourbon, but I think that's a little bit too much of a shot.
Put bourbon in here, but
that might work.
And I don't know if I really brought enough, but anyhow, I'll take a rain check on that. Okay.
So you and your wife both together have Erlacher Medical Services. I know she's an esthetician. Did I say that right?
That's right, esthetician.
And so you guys do Botox, and so if I went there and you're a doctor and she's an esthetician, and I had the flu and I wanted Botox, could you do a flu-tox shot for me?
Well, yeah, that's something we should develop. Yeah,
yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, as long as you're not too sick,
Yeah, well,
But yeah, not only could you heal the flu, you could look younger. It's amazing. Yeah, I think that would be.
Not that I need it.
No, no.
So I'm going to switch gears again. I like. So you have a passion for creating music in your spare time. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. How did that develop, and what role does music play in your life currently?
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just fascinated by music from as early as I can remember. Records, and like, how do they do that on these records? And my sister was older, and she always had all these great Motown records, and just neat music was in the house. And I was just fascinated. How do they do that? How do they do that? And so, and like I told you a minute ago, I kind of flunked out of medical school. I mean, music school. I didn't flunk out of medical school. I flunked out of music school, partly because it just, it's a hard way to make a living and raise a family, having children. So, so music is more just for fun. It's my therapy. It's like. Instead of antidepressants, I can just go play the guitar for a little bit.
I get it. I'm right there with you. So that brings me to this subject. Last week, the Up Late Band, you didn't even know that was a thing, did you? Anyhow, we did a very special rendition of the old war song, it's a different version, Lowrider. And there's a really special person in the video that is a cowbellist. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a cowbellist, but her dreams came true by being able to play a cowbell. And she killed it. She nailed it. Mm-hmm. So right now we're going to show that video, and we'll come back in just a second.
All right.
Roll it. How awesome was that? I mean, the girl on the cowbell and the guy on the bass were pretty good, but this guy right here is friggin' amazing. So you got to go to his YouTube channel, look him up. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there, and I'm just blown away by it, but it's really cool. I'm ready to make another video now. So how do you balance your medical career with your creative pursuits? And I can relate because I have a very demanding career. My day job is very demanding with the chamber, and even more demanding at night.
Yeah, well, you just have to squeeze in those things, when at night, weekends, when you need to get away from the spouse, things like that. So I said that. I think she's in the wings over here.
No comment.
It gives her a break, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't pick up my guitar enough these days. I need to do that more because it's a great stress relief to get out there and play a little bit. So I have seen you've done a couple of these videos, and folks, you got to look them up. couple Beatles songs. You did Maggie, what was it? Martha, My Dear.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you did Lady Madonna.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I saw that stuff, I'm like, I got to get to know this guy. We got to have him on the show because it's really awesome stuff. So, are you, any plans in the future to make any more videos other than the great Up Late Band video?
Yeah, I think the Up Late Band needs a reprise. I think we need an encore. Yeah, I think that would be great.
Well, we're going to get two other people in that. We're going to get Craig Saxey.
Oh, definitely.
And we're going to get Robbie Morris, who's a guitar player. And we're going to have a great session.
That would be great.
We're going to come up with a song. We got to do it.
I'm all for it.
Robbie can kill it too.
Oh, that sounds great. Fantastic.
So we're going to plan that for sure. So I do want to ask you a question I ask a lot of guests. So this might be the most important question tonight. So if we were out at Sam's, I got a place in my backyard called Sam Shack. You've probably seen it. There's a Facebook page, folks, Sam Shack. So if you were to pick one thing to drink, one thing to smoke, it doesn't have to be anything if you don't want to. I smoke cigars myself. And one side of a vinyl album, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. Well, one thing to drink and one thing to smoke and one album. Well, depends on the mood. Mm-hmm. I go back to my very first albums I listened to that really got me. Maybe the Beatles' White Album, but I don't know which side. But Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. It's like I know every word of that album. I've even memorized the skip on the record, which is funny when you listen to it digitally now. But so probably Bob Dylan, which is sort of a sentimental mood. So probably a nice red wine and a Cohiba cigar from Cuba.
A Cohiba. Do you have a contact to get us some Cubans?
I know nothing.
We'll talk after the show. So it's been great having you on here.
Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed getting to know you. I've enjoyed our friendship. I've enjoyed meeting your delightful wife, Kimberly, who's in the studio. Hey, Kim. So we're going to have you back. We're going to have to make another video.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Gray Erlacher of Gray's Anatomy. I'm just kidding. Could be, maybe. Who knows? Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back. Hey, I want to thank my special guest tonight, Dr. Gray Erlacher, for joining us. Great guy, great doctor, great musician. So it's great to have people like that in Rocky Mount to talk about and talk with. So every Thursday night at 10 o'clock right here in WHIG and Saturday nights at 10, don't miss Up Late with Sam Bass. See you soon.